All right, welcome everybody. Tusk Talk with Ty here on a Wednesday. Kind of back to our old routine here for just a night, for just an evening. This will be. It's planned to be the last live show of the week until Saturday. Of course, we'll do the post game after Arkansas and Missouri. We'll try to we'll try to survive that one together, and we are going to talk a little bit about that game. Not much, but we are going to talk a little bit about it. Of course, we're going to talk about the transfer portal. We might be seeing some changes. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was all over Twitter and some other places for a couple of days about the transfer portal window possibly changing. We're going to talk about this possible commit for Arkansas tomorrow, Mohamed Sylla, I don't know, Sylla. And then we'll get into Madden Iamaleava. So, a few things to talk about. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I do appreciate everyone for stopping by. Thanks for being here. Even to all the Kentucky fans giving me the views. Num, 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 num. Thank you for the views. Num, 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 num. I'm already fat. And appreciate them coming through, leaving their kind comments. Most of them are pretty reasonable. I did see where Matt Jones, one of their radio guys, I guess I forgot that someone had sent him like a bunch of frozen Tyson chicken. You know, it's we know all about Tyson's chicken, right? I mean, the whole world. It's kind of crazy the things that come out of Arkansas, the money that's in Northwest Arkansas. Kentucky wouldn't know much about that, but he kind of threw it back in their face. I guess this was yesterday, or maybe it was earlier today. I'm not sure. Hell, it might have even been an older video. I'm not really sure, but I saw the video for the first time today, and it's him just thanking Arkansas fans and John Tyson for, taking Cal off their hands. So, hey, you're welcome. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how that one plays out. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. All right, let's read chat here for just a second, for just a smidge. We do have a poll up, by the way. Who gets most of the snaps in spring camp with the twos? And that should have been which quarterback gets the most, whatever. I'm always in a rush typing these things out, but Madden Iamaleava is in first with 47%, KJ Jackson at 35%, Grayson Wilson at 18%, and nobody voting for Blake Boda. What the hell? Not one? Come on now, that's Bobby Petrino's boy. I'm going to be real with you. I'm a little bit surprised Blake Boda is still here. And I mean that as respectfully as I can be. But yeah, I mean there's no doubt. It's going to I agree. It's going to be one of these three. And I'm really excited. And that was something else we were going to talk about towards the end when we get on the topic of Madden and just what's going on with him. But we're going to go into a little bit about the quarterback situation going into spring camp and how excited I am because you feel I'm going to say it. I feel just as confident with Talon Green being back. Maybe there's a better way of putting this. I'm fine with him coming back. I'm absolutely fine with him coming back. Okay? You don't have the offense. You don't have the some of those numbers, right? Without Talon Green, I don't know. We're not going to get into the Malachi argument because he's not here. He's no longer here. He went off to where did he go? Purdue, right? Isn't that where he ended up? He went to Purdue, so he's not here. But based on what Green did, I'm excited for a year two quarterback with the same quarterback coach, the same offensive coordinator. That's exciting. And that offensive coordinator just so happens to have pretty good success with quarterbacks, getting them into the NFL, and the offense flourishing and doing better in their second year. I'm excited about that. But this year, there's something to be excited about with what's going on behind Green. So, yeah. All right. Again, please make sure you like, share, subscribe. I get it. Literally, I'm sitting here reading a DM. You're live. Had no clue. How long have you been live? How long? I just went live, and this person had no clue. So obviously, noties are still not going out, but it is what it is. I'm tapped in. Ty, what's going on, Pooh Bear? Hope you're doing well. Again, make sure you take that poll. Madden. Oh, we got a bit of a battle here between Madden Iamaleava and Jackson. So I don't know. Maybe I could change your mind a little bit. Maybe what I say here once we get on that topic, maybe it'll make you change your vote if you can do that. I'm not even sure you can do that or not. The fourth-string quarterback doesn't need to be listed. You know what though? Don't tell me how to do my show, sir. Maybe I wanted to put him there because he is a scholarship quarterback. So. And this was a guy that was formerly committed to Petrino when he was the offensive coordinator for like 16 seconds to UNLV. And this is someone Petrino recruited. If you're trying to make a case for Blake Boda. It's not a strong one. I get that. All right. More DMs. Yeah, if I'm live and you're asking for spins, you're not going to get the spin. Well, I'm live. Give me a little bit after the show. I'll give you your spins in Discord. All right. Arkansas and Missouri. We'll start there. This is a very interesting matchup for Arkansas. Every game from here on out is must win. There is no such thing now as like you obviously cannot afford to take anyone half serious. Missouri's pretty good. They're about what I expected them to be. I like what they've done. They've got some interesting pieces. Nobody is like, I don't know that I look at their roster and I'm just blown away by it. It's just really good. It's just really good team ball. You know, I mean, they had Caleb Grill come off the bench for them. He got 30 minutes. 22 points, like 3 boards. I think he had 2 or 3 steals, couple of assists. This guy came on, and they're deep. Missouri is deep. And they're pretty good. You know, I mean, listen, they shot 11 of 29 against Florida outside. 38% on the road. That's not real common. And Caleb Grill shot 60% outside. This guy took 10 threes. I'm pretty sure this is the most three-point attempts they've had in a single game. And they went into Gainesville and won this game. So, Missouri, obviously, who are you going to pick, Ty? Who do you think I'm going to pick? Missouri. This is an interesting matchup. I'll just say that for Arkansas. They're all going to be interesting because, I don't know, you're not going to be favored in any of them until you play like South Carolina. Again, there's nothing, Grill doing that, and Grill's certainly someone who might be coming on for them. He's only averaging 12 points on the year, 3 boards, just 0.8 assists, 1 steal a game. He's only turning the ball over 1 time a game, and that's averaging almost 21 minutes. That's pretty good. Mark Mitchell is their leading scorer on the year with almost 14 points per game, 5 boards. Again, they shoot 37% on the year outside. I mean, and they're good at creating their own shots. Like I said, they've got depth. Mark Mitchell's a 6'8", 6'9", 225-pound guard. Bates, a 6'5", 6'6", senior guard. And then what is Grill? Grill's not real tall, if I remember. Yeah, he's like 6'2", 6'3", 205. He's coming along, man. Played in 12 games, 53% shooter. 53% shooter. And this isn't, we're not talking about a guy playing around the post. We're not talking about a 4 or 5. And this guy's shooting north of 50% through 12 games. Now, I think he was dealing with injuries. I seem to remember something like that. They are guard heavy. My God, this is what they want to do. They are really guard heavy. They've got guys that could play kind of the combo. They've got guys that could play the 3 and the 4 with some pretty good size. Guys that are in the high 6'7", 6'8". Guys that can play around the post, long arms, athletic ability. And again, as a team, they are shooting 49% and they're shooting 37% outside. I think their volume is only about 21 threes per game or so, maybe 22. But I just don't like this matchup. I mean, what matchup do you like if you're looking at Arkansas? It's really hard to talk hog ball, and I used to put the next opponent up on the thumbnail if I did a show before that next game. If that was the last game the last show of the week before the game, I would always put. I'm not even going to bother. The apathy that is set in for Arkansas basketball is just. It's nothing but anger, and then some people are tired of hearing about it. Some people are they're bitching and moaning about the bitching and moaning from podcasters and YouTubers and all that. And listen, man, I mean, I've got a job to do, and I'm nothing. If I'm anything, I'm blunt and honest about where I'm at with this team. They're garbage. Arkansas's not good. I'm not going to say they're very bad, but the way they're playing right now is garbage. Now, no one's really blown them out outside of Tennessee. Illinois beat you pretty good, and that based on who Illinois has lost to, and I know matchups matter and all that, but based on who they've lost to, that's a game, looking back at it, like Arkansas had no business losing that game 90-77. Well, then maybe they did. I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder just how bad is Michigan really. Arkansas beat them. There's a lot of issues with this team. You can go all the way down to just not being healthy. By the way, someone called me delusional yesterday for saying that I think the lack of being healthy has played a larger role into this than anyone, including myself, wanted to talk about early on in the year. We kind of underestimated how those injuries. They're still kind of plaguing this team because they haven't had opportunities to do full scrimmages. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's not common. I'm just going to say that. That's not common where you're so banged up, and because you don't have a large roster, you don't have, you've got 7 guys that are healthy, 6 guys that are fully healthy. That's not enough to scrimmage. That's not enough to one-on-one. That's really just drills and running up and down the floor. And I don't know what's really going on in practice with Cal, but that is a massive disadvantage. And hearing some other people talk about it, and there's a lot of other shows and other, national shows and these bigger YouTube channels that they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to discuss that those injuries and not having guys readily available to scrimmage. They don't want to discuss that. They just want to talk about, well, Arkansas's just bad. They can't shoot the 3. They can't create their own shots. They don't have a mid-range guy. If Boogie doesn't come in and do his thing, then or Thero. If these guys don't come in and do their thing, they're in trouble. The same shit we've been saying now for the last several weeks. I do think, and so to be called delusional over that is like, I think you're just maybe you need to go back and replay what I said and understand. Or maybe you just don't know ball. I don't know. But not having that ability to have, and by the way, you still only got 9 guys. You still don't have enough to scrimmage really, but to be so banged up that that's where you create chemistry, is in those settings and on the floor in live action, right? And we said all along, like, they're going to have to build this chemistry, but in order for that to happen, these guys have got to get healthy. Nelly Davis needs to be healthy. Remember, they were telling us, and I think it was Calipari who said that he felt like Nelly would be ready or would be 100% by mid to late December. And then they pull him out. Well, then they sit him. He doesn't play for, 2-3 games or whatever it was. So we're going to sit here and act like They should just have chemistry. They're not going to. Now, how much of this is on coaching? I would say the whole lot of it is on coaching. I've been very critical of Cal and how I don't think number one priority, it might be helping the players, and that's great. That's awesome that you want to help these players and their families. You want to help them with NIL, and then you want to help them get to the league where the big money is. That's awesome. And you would hope what would follow, and maybe that's kind of his thinking, what follows with that is success. But I think your number one priority should be winning at Arkansas. And then the rest will follow. And then these guys will make big money. And then all of a sudden you're talking about the guys that maybe weren't in the first round in an NBA mock draft. All of a sudden you're talking about, I kind of think that's what happened with under Muss. Like you had guys like Ricky Council, who, and I'll be fair, I'll be honest, Council shocked me, right? And Council's actually had some minutes in the NBA. Jordan Walsh should have come back. I'll say that. Williams, the ultimate charge taker until they changed the rule, but the ultimate charge taker, I thought he should have come back. And obviously he's doing some things in OKC, but still, like, these guys got into the conversation, and how much of that was because of the success and everything else that followed with that. When you're not having success and you don't have full team chemistry, and, I don't know what to make of this staff. I really don't. Everyone wants to talk about Cal's son. Kentucky fans, want to talk about that. Whatever. I mean, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that take, but right now I don't know what to make of the staff. I really don't. I don't know what are they. It feels like everything is up for scrutiny right now because they're not winning, because you're on a 4-game losing streak. You've now got at least a couple losses where you thought, well, we should have won those. You shouldn't have lost the way you did to Illinois. Looking back at it, Tennessee is still really damn good. But did you really, at the time, did we think that was justified? That this team's really just that bad? No, of course not. We didn't think that, or it was just that Tennessee was just that good. And now, since then, you're riding a 4-game losing streak. It's like everything is up for scrutiny, including his son, including the rest of the staff, including Cal himself and the players. So, yeah, of course I don't like Arkansas against Missouri. In fact, I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. I maybe it will be. I don't know. To be fair, Tennessee's really the only team that's completely held Arkansas down and controlled them and did whatever they wanted. Because Tennessee is good. I don't know what the hell happened to them. With one of their losses to an SEC opponent, but I don't know. Maybe that was just a fluke. Maybe that's just how this year's going to go. Don't forget, the SEC is drunk. It's drunken football, and it is drunken basketball without a doubt. So yeah, I mean, give me Mizzou. I'm going to guess the spread's probably going to be in Mizzou's favor by a few points. I'd guess it's going to be like Mizzou by 6. But they are a really, really high-scoring team. Once again, you're playing another high-flying, high-scoring team that could score from multiple places on the floor. They average 85 points a game, which is top 20 in the country. That's right. They're 17th. They don't rebound real well. In fact, I think they're right there with Arkansas, maybe even below Arkansas in rebounds, if you can imagine that. They are giving up almost 70 points a game. They're not a real high assist team. So there are a couple of areas here where you feel like, well, maybe Arkansas has, maybe they can make it competitive, but Missouri, they can score and they can score quick. And again, they're very, very guard heavy. Again, welcome everybody who's just now hopping in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Check out Patreon. Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon. You Can't Handle the Truth says it's all about the money. Yeah. Well, to be fair, it always has been, but now it's like there's more money on the table, and it's all actually on the table. It's not underneath the table anymore. Johnny Jones says, and sad thing is he goes winless in the SEC. We will have to deal with him another year. They won't fire him because of the NBA draft picks. Well, I would say they wouldn't fire him because his contract is probably pretty beefy. I would imagine his contract, his buyout, is probably a little bit insane. I'm not even sure what it is. They're not – listen, they could not win another game, and he's coming back. Now, you do that 2 years in a row or you have another piss-poor performance, well, then we're having a little bit different conversation. But again, I don't know. Probably not. Even still, probably not. Wow. Yeah, okay. For everyone messaging me about the notifications, listen, I'm trying to get the tweets out as well. I apologize. I have no power over that. I'm sorry you didn't get a notification. I feel like I have to say that a lot, but it's just the way the system works. Algorithm does not like me. YouTube hates my guts as far as how I handle things on my end. I swear, and I don't put in ads. They're manual. Like I could click the button right now and throw an ad up on the screen, but I'm not going to do it because I'm your boy. Now, when we get towards the end of the show, that might be a little different. Are we blaming Tyson Chicken yet, or too soon? Well, I agree with what Blake Level said. Now, if you haven't watched that, go back and watch. Listen to what he says about Cal. And he and I have talked, a little bit here and there as well. And I think to say otherwise is a little bit, it's hindsight being 2020 is what it is. It's being Captain Hindsight. But if, let's say Cal stepped down at Kentucky and you've lost Eric Musselman, again, without knowing what we know right now, let's say we didn't make any contact at all, that Chicken Man didn't get involved. Maybe Hunter Yurachek just picked up the phone, and again, we're talking about hypotheticals. I realize there's a lot of anti-Hunter Yurachek stuff out there. Right now, and rightfully so, everyone's being criticized. But I'm just saying, you would want him at the time to pick up the phone and call Coach Cal. If he didn't even try, and it later came out that Cal was interested in the job, fans would call for Hunter Yurachek's head right now. Now, I'm talking about before, the season would unfold, wherever he would go, right? Because I kind of imagine a similar situation would arise wherever he would go, right? He probably wouldn't have success there either. Although, to be fair, the SEC is an absolute animal. So maybe not. Maybe that's the reason why he started out so bad. The SEC is just unbelievably loaded, and he's just unprepared and ill-equipped. But I think a lot of fans would be pissed if you lost Muss and you bring in – I don't know. I don't – people keep talking about oh, my God, the Texas to Ole Miss coach. Why am I blanking on his name? Beard. From what I understand, Beard was not going to take this job, not after just one season at Ole Miss. So, again, you're probably going to have to settle for somebody else. And if it came out that Cal – was available and he was interested and you didn't reach out to him, yeah, you'd be pissed. A Hall of Fame coach who's interested. Now, the way it's working out right now, everyone's pissed off. You're losing games, and it looks like his best days are absolutely behind him. And by the way, again, I will mention this. Kentucky fans did call that it's, his style of play is behind him and all that, or it's not. The rest of the league is caught up to him and all that. But, again, their gripe, and I've said this over and over again, their gripe was that he wouldn't have postseason success. Not that what we're seeing, no one saw this coming. So, yeah, it's hard for me to be mad when at the time everybody was celebrating as if – have you ever watched the ending to Star Wars after the Emperor and the Death Star's blown up? For any nerds in chat, or even casual nerds, people who've watched the movies, when George Lucas went back and he edited those films and he showed the ending and all the, you've got all these different planets, Naboo and Coruscant, they're all celebrating. That's what we were all doing when they hired Coach Cal. Right now, we're pissed. Everyone's mad, and rightfully so. All I'm trying to say is, it's real easy to be mad at John Tyson right now, or Hunter Yurachek, whoever you want to blame, when you consider just how bad things are. I'm not saying you're unjustified at being mad. I'm not saying that at all. You are. You absolutely – I feel like Razorback Nation kind of got, you know, I don't know, hoodwinked a little bit. It feels that way. At the same time, you guys know how I feel about the whole year one argument. You know how I feel about that. It's not the same as it once was. 6 years ago, you could understand, like, all right, year one, he's got to build out his roster and all that. You didn't have instant eligibility. You didn't have NIL set up the way that it is. Imagine that. He was going to have to work with whatever, let's say Mike Anderson, whatever Mike Anderson left him with. It's a different time. That's why I don't buy into the year one, give him time stuff, but at the same time, he also had absolutely nothing to work with when he got here. There's no leftovers. He did bring some folks with him, but I don't know, man. A part of me says just let it play out. You know what? This year's going to be a wash. It feels like it's going to be a wash. It's probably going to be a wash. Okay, let's see what happens year two. That's kind of where I'm at mentally with it. I'm still going to be angry when they lose some games. They get blown out by somebody they have no business getting blown out by. Anyways, I have way too much time on basketball. I'm not, again, there's a reason why I didn't put anything basketball related on the thumbnail. Just not really, it's just not really much to be excited about. I mean, apathy has completely set in. And it's not just basketball. I mean, it's across all sports. It just is. It's across all sports for Arkansas fans. It's just apathy is completely setting in, and that sucks. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll end on this. I don't know if I had to be honest. I really think Arkansas is probably going to win. They're going to sneak up on somebody and beat them with just sheer talent. Who that is, I don't know. I mean, they're more talented than almost everyone they play outside of maybe 3 teams. Now Texas trying to, they got to get healthy. Alabama's in a little bit of a funk. They're not quite as strong as we thought they would be. A&M's going to be tough. Auburn is clearly, even without Broome, and I think his sprain, it's a low ankle sprain, right? Isn't that what they said it was? So he'll probably be back by February 19th when Arkansas goes to Auburn, Alabama. So I don't know if they upset anybody there. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing them getting to about 4 conference wins. So, yeah. And then the SEC tournament, March 12th. By the way, I'll be out of the country. The end of March, I will be out of the country. So, doesn't look like I'm going to be missing much. Unless Arkansas completely turns this thing around, as Arky56 is trying to convince me. He believes in Muss. He thinks the talent's there. They're going to be fine. They just got to get healthier and learn to play with chemistry and all that. He's on board. He thinks they're still fine. You could say Arky56 might be a little, I don't know if he's in chat or not. You might think he's sipping the Kool-Aid a little bit, but you still got 14 games left. I will say never say never. All right, that's all the time I'm going to spend on basketball. I'm done with it. Do the losses start affecting recruiting? Do all the commits stick? Guess we'll find out. It's not that bad. You don't have to leave the country. No, we're going on a cruise, me and my family, my wife and kids. We're going with 3 other families. We're going to have a good old time. I think we're going to I actually don't even know where the hell we're going. I know we're going to Galveston, so that means we're going to end up somewhere in Mexico. I don't know. I need it. Oh, my God, I need it. I need it. She needs it. Wife needs it. I don't know how much of a vacation it is when you're taking your kids with you, but seriously, though, have fun, safe trip. The only brutal part is the drive to Galveston. That's the only brutal part. Once you get to the worst is once you get to Dallas and you head south and that's just such a brutal drive. Carnival, Jubilee. I don't know what boat it is, but it is Carnival for sure. Maybe actually stop for breakfast this time. Listen, John, we tried to meet up. I told you I was heading to a cigar store. I had a little bit of time. I had like an hour to burn. Let's go meet up. And you blanked, man. I don't know where you went. Ukraine? What? Players get paid more in college than the pros do, though. Well, it's a little more complicated than that, Johnny. I mean, it just kind of depends on where you end up. All right. Transfer portal window. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. But again, this was I don't even know who broke the story. It might have just been someone on Twitter, but transfer portal window might be going through some changes. FBS coaches unanimously approve single transfer portal window. What? Let's go. All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. It's almost like we have discussed this since they first started with the portal. What are you doing with these multiple windows, and why are they so long? On Tuesday, FBS coaches voted, again, unanimously, in support of a proposal that would reduce the transfer portal window to a 10-day period in January. The proposal would eliminate the December and April portal periods. Pending approval from the NCAA Division I Council, the proposal could go into effect for the 25-26 season. I'm here for it, baby. The current system features a winter transfer portal window, 30 days beginning in December, and a window 10 days beginning in April. The new proposal aims to protect the integrity of the bowl season, preventing teams from having to play a bowl game with backups. In December, Marshall opted out of the Independence Bowl due to a lack of available players. Who saw that coming, right? Marshall lost more than 24 players to the portal, including all 3 scholarship quarterbacks. I didn't know that. Under the new proposal, the transfer portal would open on January 2nd and close on January 12th, allowing players to complete a full season before finding a new home in time for spring semester. So I'm assuming that means they will be available for spring camp. I'm guessing that's really why they're doing it, right? They want to make sure these guys are available for spring camp. Pushing the transfer portal window to January would also give coaches more time to focus on bowl games and recruiting. In 2024, the college football early signing period ran from December 4th to that can't be right. December 4th through the 6th. No, that ain't right. I must have cut that off. Austin got his card, and he got his Leper King little thing that I printed out for people who win. By the way, so I love that you guys tag me in Discord when your cards come in, but I use this little bad boy right here to print off really funny little memes and stuff that are relevant to our Discord. So if you win a card, you'll likely get one of these, and I'll say something on the back, and I'll scribble my John Hancock on the back of it. There you go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Yeah, bowl games are a mess since NIL transfer portal jumps. Yeah, no, they are. You're right. And yeah, do like Transplant said, take 59. Oh, you're driving Dallas to Galveston quicker to go directly down 59. I don't know. I'm not sure. Matt says mine came with feet pics. You liar. No, they did not. Feet pics. You got to pay extra for the feet pics. Don't cancel me, YouTube. You're already screw me in other ways. All right. So there you go, man. Transfer portal getting its shit straightened out. It's about time. I mean, it's got to go through approval, but man, this could be absolutely huge. This could be big. If they can get that to go through, might be pretty big. So, all right. Tomorrow, Muhammad Sila I don't know, man. I can't pronounce these freaking names. Muhammad Sylla, Sylla. He's going to announce tomorrow at 2:30. This is a big time player. Right there he is on the bottom of the screen. Big center, 6'10", 240 pounds. This dude, he's out of Bella Vista Prep. Considered depending on what site, he's nationally ranked as a top 5 center, a top 5 player out of the state of Arizona. 247 Composite has him as the number 20 center, so that's a pretty big difference. That's 15 players difference. But 108th national on the 247 Sports, or on 247 Sports Composite. So he's going to announce tomorrow. Initially, he was supposed to announce on Monday, January 13th at 4:30. But he's pushed it back, and it looks like he's got crystal balls and he's got forecasting in Arkansas's favor. It's going to come down between Georgia Tech, Arkansas, and Oregon, with it likely coming down between Arkansas and Georgia Tech, but who knows? Sounds like Arkansas is in really good shape for Sylla. If we want to win more Liberty Bowls, I think this is a great rule. Oh, man, yeah. Eric Musselman's Ghost says Sylla is going to Georgia Tech. Was a Arkansas commit until about 2. I don't know. I mean, these did he not just get a forecast put in on Rivals for Arkansas? Did I see that wrong? I thought he was favored to Arkansas on Rivals. Hang on, pull this up. Yeah, so Georgia Tech is favored on, it looks like on Rivals, but I don't know when those picks were put in. Oh, yeah, Jackson Collier flipped it to Georgia Tech. Okay. There you go. And Alex Farrer must be maybe he's a Georgia Tech insider. I don't know. But over on Rivals, he also picked. So, yeah, it looks like he's going to end up going to Georgia Tech. Yeah, so that puts his forecast to 80%. So he's got one on 247. He has a crystal ball, but it's probably pretty old. So, yeah. Crystal ball turning into Magic 8 Ball. Not so sure Sylla is coming. Well, am I pronouncing that right? Sounds like, I think it's Sylla. Sylla. I don't know. Sylla. Sylla. He'd be a good get. I mean, without a doubt. I want to know when that crystal ball was, or when the prediction was put in over on 247. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Well, you talk about salt on the wound, not getting this guy. This was a high priority target for Arkansas. There's still some pretty good centers available, and when you've got, say what you want about Cal, when you have him, well, now see Trey Biddy put in a crystal ball for Arkansas this morning. Oh boy! So stay buckled in, man. This might be interesting. Yeah, Biddy this morning, January 15th, 10:34 a.m. He put in a crystal ball, and his confidence is an 8. That's pretty damn high. I don't know. Hey, make sure you guys like the stream, share the content, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Source versus source. Yeah, we've got another 247 versus Rivals throwdown, don't we? No, it was a walk and talk. No, I don't think so. Because it was this morning. All right. Here's this guy, Madden Iamaleava, 4-star quarterback, 6'2", 190. He's participating in the Polynesian Bowl. That's gonna be on Friday. Friday at 8 p.m. January 17th. And this will be one of the Razorbacks. Madden will be, and this is available. That'll be available on NFL Network. You know that I'm gonna have to tune into that. So he's turning some heads, y'all. This was said. Oh, wrong one. This is Dave Kiefer. Kiefer's, I think, with Rivals. Pretty sure he's with Rivals. But he's got Polynesian Bowl top performers from day 2. And that's right. Madden Iamaleava is on that list. He's one of the top performers. And here's what was said about Madden. The Arkansas-bound quarterback didn't get to have a senior season because of transfer rules in California, a.k.a. California. That kept him off the field. So he's making up for lost time this week as he wraps up his high school career before joining the Razorbacks. Iamaleava is one of just 2 quarterbacks for his team alongside USC-bound signal caller Husan Longstreet. So both players have been able to earn plenty of reps. Iamaleava looked sharp during Tuesday's practice as he continues to settle in with his team. He practiced with a ton of confidence and made some impressive throws all over the field. 6'2", 191-pound signal caller wasn't afraid to use his feet day 2 with a couple of running plays mixed in as well. Selman Bridges played in this thing last year. I did not know that. Selman Bridges was and I think he's the only other, I might be wrong about this, but I think he's the only other Razorback to participate in the Polynesian Bowl. But there you go, man. Here's a video here. You guys have probably seen this. Oh, scroll up, damn it. Here we go. Good job. Take it. And just like that, I probably got a copyright. So yeah, he's turning heads. Day 2. Don't have any reports yet on day 3 that I saw. Of course, we'll keep up with that. But this is what I wanted to say about the quarterback situation. You know, I was texting back and forth with another media member earlier today, and we talked about last year how we thought we were going to have a QB2 battle, and we never really did. KJ Jackson never turned the corner. To be fair, he's a young quarterback. But there was no QB2 battle like we thought we might get. I think this year that's going to change. I think KJ Jackson is going to fight for his life to be quarterback number 2, and he's going to have to fight off both these incoming freshman quarterbacks, Grayson Wilson and Madden Iamaleava. He's going to have to fight them both off. Because the more we see about Madden, the more we hear about Madden, he just continues to impress. Now, again, he didn't get to play a year of high school football, and that's a big deal. You know, but that also means he got time to, you know, to not worry necessarily about that high school, about that playbook, about, you know, whatever. He had time to kind of sharpen some of his weaknesses, which he has talked about in the media. I don't have the quote in front of me, but he talked about working on his release. I think he might have been talking to 247 or maybe Rivals or who knows. But if I could find that article, I'd love to pull that up or maybe share it in Discord. But he had some pretty interesting things to say, just things that he was working on while he wasn't on the field with his boys on Friday nights. You know, you wonder how much of that, whatever he did last year, how much of it carries over, what he was known for, the reason why he got his 4 stars. Was it the connection to his brother or he's just, you know, really talented player? There's a lot of similarities between him and his brother Nico. You know, they both can throw the ball down the field pretty well, pretty sharp, good timing. What I want to see happen in this spring camp, first off, for a true freshman to come in and knock on the door, and it could be, who knows, man, maybe KJ Jackson is the real deal. Remember, highly touted left-handed quarterback. He's tall and he's got some speed. So don't look too down on KJ Jackson. This dude was a baller out of high school. Really good player. But we're going to find out a lot about just what's going on behind Green. No one's going to push Green. I'll be shocked if now, would it shock me if Pittman were to come out and say something like, watch out, old Madden, boy, he's looking pretty good. Is he going to give off those kind of vibes and everyone's going to, or are those the kind of words he's going to use, his typical, his vernacular? Or are we going to hear, watch out, he's coming on, Green's, he's the number one guy, but old Madden now, or the other kid, or KJ Jackson. Yeah. All that's fine and dandy, but I want to see it on the field, man. I want to see them really battle this thing out and have a true QB2 battle. Again, I don't think anyone's going to push Green. Green's got a command of this offense. The question's going to be what the skill position guys are capable of and what they do throughout camp as well, where they're at on the depth chart, because a lot of that really did carry over last spring into fall camp and coming out of fall camp. What happened in terms of, just in terms of what the rotation looked like on both sides of the ball, for the most part, maybe some stuff wasn't the same on the offensive line. Maybe there's some moves there, here and there, but, just talking about like behind the ones and with the twos and the threes. But for the most part, like a lot of what happened through spring camp in terms of the depth chart carried into fall camp. So, we're going to learn a lot through spring camp, and I'm probably going to miss some of it because I'm going to be I'll be on a boat, hopefully with a few more than a few beers, just hanging out. I want to smoke a cigar. I don't remember if there's a cigar lounge or something on the last cruise I went on. I don't think there was. I did buy a highly overpriced cigar, but I had to buy something. I didn't buy anything on the cruise. I was like, I'm going to buy a crappy cigar. But, yeah, going to be interesting to see how this all unfolds through spring camp with the quarterback room. Skill position guys are going to have to step up. I don't know what the hell's going to happen at running back. I'm still not completely sold that Russell doesn't hit the portal post-spring. I don't know, man. I hope I'm wrong, and that's just me being a little pessimistic because of everything that's happening with Arkansas athletics and just kind of Russell's past as well, right? I mean, he's obviously been a little jumpy, but so much has to happen around the quarterbacks for these guys to be effective. So much has to happen. It can't just come down to Green running for his life and really only having the ability to target one quarterback. Green has them legs when he needs them, which has been quite often, says Bobby Swain. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. If Green would protect the ball better next year, no telling what we could do, but our line didn't play great either, so who knows? Yeah, he's got to hold on to the ball. I agree with that too. That is 110% correct. 110% correct. I'm still getting tagged for spins. My goodness. Wait, her first video. Huh? What are y'all talking about? Bobby, not enough. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Okay. Something about is this about Bobby? Bobby, not enough female fans buying into the princess narrative. UK women supported the Insta account much better than hog women. Yeah, y'all are on. I don't know what y'all are on. I don't know what you're talking about. Trying to find a comment here to read. Progressions, keyword for next year. Well, again, you got to have time, right? We can sit here and talk about going through your progressions when you have time. There's no doubt that this guy was running for his life. As I have repeated over and over, Stephen Hamner, QB Spotlight will tell you the same. Got to give him time. But, yeah, I mean, he's certainly There were his biggest issue throughout, especially the first half of the year, wasn't hitting guys in stride. He was overthrowing targets, throwing the ball behind guys, and it did seem like he just wasn't on the same page, or the receivers weren't on the same page with him throughout most of the year. And then you see this slide happen, and his protection goes up. And if you actually look at his clean pocket percentage, it actually jumped. His clean pocket percentage numbers actually jumped up a lot higher. I say a lot higher, maybe 5-7% compared to where it was the first 6 or 7 games of the year. And all of a sudden you see his numbers start to grow, and you could see it in the game. And he was making smarter passes. There were a couple times that he threw, he's trying to throw darts into double coverage, but he doesn't leave the ball up long enough for a DB to snatch it out of the air. He was, for the most part, he was a very effective quarterback. Used his legs, when he actually decided to run north, tuck the ball and run. I say tuck. He didn't tuck the ball. He ran with it outside like Matt Jones used to do, which drove me crazy then, and it drives me crazy now to watch Green do it. And that's, look at all the turnovers. Matt Jones didn't have all those fumbles that Green had. But the decision making for the most part was fine. The reads, again, it's tough when most of the season you're just trying to get the offense down the field, and sometimes that meant running a little RPO and just, you're going to either hand the ball off, obviously you're going to take it or run it, or you're going to look for a throw downfield. Green oftentimes was hurried into those decisions. So it's difficult to make that initial read if that linebacker's biting on whether you're going to give it or keep it or throw it. Again, it comes down to everyone being on, like we've talked about with basketball, everybody being on the same page. You can't just have the quarterback, having to put the team on his shoulders the way that we ask Green to do so often, especially when Jackson went down and you didn't have Jackson. We saw what he did the first 5-6 weeks of the season. He was an absolute monster. Jackson was a beast. And then he fades away, and eventually he's just not playing because of injuries. And you don't really know what's going on in the backfield. And Russell has one really solid game and some other moments outside of some other games. But we just so often asked him and Armstrong to put this team on their shoulders and to make it work. And they found a way, slowly but surely. But going back to the quarterback room, we don't know what the future holds, obviously, for Bobby Petrino beyond this next year and Sam Pittman. But I think I would like to see these guys stick around. I'd like to see them be here for more than just a single season. I'd like to see Madden stick around. And wouldn't it be something if he came in, and the same with the other quarterback, Grayson Wilson, the same with him. Whoever it is, I'd like to see them knock the door down, come in. That's all the media wants to write about. That's all anyone wants to talk about is how this freshman, whichever one, or even KJ Jackson for that matter, someone just completely take a hold of the 2 spot and there be no question about who it is. That would be a good thing. But a part of me wants to see this back and forth. I want to see different quarterbacks running with the 2s when they're running fastball. Like one day we see KJ Jackson, and then the rest of the week we see, Madden Iamaleava, or we see Grayson Wilson, and all of a sudden there's this back and forth. That's going to be fun too. But for probably what you want to really see as a fan, though, you want to see someone take that number 2 spot and run with it. And it'd be great. It'd be wonderful. Again, it doesn't really matter who. You just want to feel more solidified behind Green. By the way, Green is what? He likes to tuck the ball. Again, I need to stop saying tuck the ball because he needs to work on that. He likes to run with the ball, and he takes some hits. He took some vicious hits. He missed some time. I'm not going to say he's injury prone. He's actually pretty damn tough. There were times coming out of the game I thought he may be questionable for next week. And there was never any question that he was going to play that next week. So he's pretty damn tough. I'll give him that for sure. But he does take a lot of hits. He likes to run with the ball. You definitely want to have that quarterback room shirt up behind him. You felt that way, especially after Tennessee last year with your quarterback, with who was behind Green a year ago. You want to have that same feeling. To be fair, you probably don't want it to be a freshman, which is why I said I thought they would. I'm surprised they haven't. I thought they'd go after an older, mature quarterback who has some reps under his belt, who got some time in P3, P4 football. You know, maybe he was a starter for a little while at another school or whatever happened. He got hurt, forced to sit out, and then he ends up in a Razorback jersey. That could still possibly happen. But from what I understand, they're not going to pursue another quarterback. They're going forward with what they have. Maybe that changes. I don't know. Maybe I got some bad information. But, yeah. So, more than likely, you're going to be relying on either KJ Jackson or another or a true freshman quarterback. That I don't know how to feel about. But, again, all more the reason why you want someone to take that job by the horns and make it theirs. On the flip side, quarterback battles are always fun. But I'm confident, assuming you could keep Petrino, maybe Sam defies all odds. I mean, there's still people out there who think all he's got to do is get to 6 and he keeps his job again. That could be true. I don't know. I'm done trying to guess what Hunter Yurchek wants to do with his football team. I'm done trying to guess. I have no idea. I don't know. I still would say 7 wins, which would probably be what you would want if you're Hunter, but for the sake of these guys sticking around another year, yeah, it'd be nice if they could keep their job, but that's not why they should keep their job, right? You don't hang on to a coach because you just have some up-and-coming player. You don't hang on to a coach if the season's bad enough, right? Let's say you go 5-7. Are you going to hang on to Pittman just to see Madden Iamaleava? You know, probably not. I mean, if you're Hunter, probably not. You're going to have to let Sam go if that happens. I think 5 is for sure. I think 5 is for sure the number that would get him fired next year, but God only knows. 7 is going to be tough with that schedule, in my opinion. Yeah, no, I agree. You know, that is another topic of conversation we're going to have throughout the offseason. It is really tough. I mean, Arkansas State's going to be a damn handful. I think Arkansas State, because of the magnitude of this game for them, this is huge. They know this, even though it's going to be a roster full of transfers. I would imagine, or they're going to have quite a few transfers. I don't know. Where's Austin? We'll get Austin on here to talk to us about what's going on with Arkansas State. But they might be a handful down in what is hopefully the last game in Little Rock on September 6th. You know, then you're at Ole Miss, at Memphis. You have Notre Dame coming to town. Notre freaking Dame. You're at Tennessee. You got A&M coming to town. Auburn coming to town. Fayetteville. So you got a 3-game stretch where you've got all these teams coming into Fayetteville. Then you're on the road to LSU and Texas, and you close it out with Mizzou. That's tough, man. I don't know how else to – I don't know. I will say, because of the portal era, it is who knows really how good all these teams actually are next year. Who really knows? Maybe Notre Dame gets depleted and they don't do the same job in the portal, and you know, maybe by the time you play Tennessee or A&M or Auburn, they're banged up. They didn't, you know, Auburn's doing a really good job in the portal, by the way, but maybe by the time you play LSU and Baton Rouge, maybe they're dealing with their own set of injuries, right? Or maybe they just, you know, I don't know what to make of what's going on down in LSU. And I don't think what happened this year should have unfolded the way that it did with LSU and Arkansas. You know, you got to go to Texas. I mean, look at the playoff contenders from a year ago that you have on your schedule. I mean, this is insane. Ole Miss, you can make an argument that Ole Miss should have been in there, right? Especially if you're well, not if you live on the eastern side of the state. You probably are absolutely fine with them not making it in. But yeah, man, you got some border wars going on with playing 3 Mississippi schools in the same year. We haven't done that in a while. You're playing 2 teams out of Alabama, and neither one of them are the Crimson Tide, so maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't know what to make of them either, right? Who would have thought Alabama would be where they're at this year? So God only knows what this really looks like by the time the schedule unfolds. Maybe Arkansas really is better than advertised. Or maybe not. Maybe they're worse. Maybe Armstrong was the reason. Maybe Armstrong carried Green. I would argue that might be true to some degree, but man, Green made some plays without Armstrong this year, and he made some plays. You go back to the bowl game, despite the fact that who they played was atrocious on defense, but certainly something to be said about his performance, though, in that game. And, again, there were multiple games this year where Armstrong certainly had an impact, but Green was able to do things with his feet or targeting other players. Not that happened very often. You know, Armstrong was his favorite go-to, but who knows? That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to pump the brakes. Obviously, you guys know my standard now is like, I'll tell you where I'm at coming out of spring camp as far as like a feeling. Maybe they could be a team that caps out at 7 wins if I had to give them a ceiling, you know, or maybe I'm down at 5 or whatever, but I'm not going to give you an official record until we get out of fall camp. I'm going to do that. That's how we're doing this, damn it. I'm going to give an official prediction. And even that is batshit crazy, but I said coming out of fall camp, I'm pretty sure someone go find that transcript. I'm almost positive I picked Arkansas at 6-6. I just don't know that I would have had Tennessee on there. Tennessee on there as one of those wins, with Oklahoma State being one of those losses. I mean, crazy world, right? All right. I trust Bobby to make Green considerably better in year 2. And listen, if he does considerably make him better, that's pretty impressive, because I thought Green, I mean, again, you cannot overlook what he did. I mean, those numbers didn't just happen by accident. It's Green put up a lot of yards. They just need to now turn into scores. All the things that he did right, he also did a lot of things wrong, right? What we say all throughout the year? He's a double-edged sword. I think it comes down to the same question. Yeah, Matt's got a good point here. Do we beat ourselves in games? If we do better than that, I like our chances, says Matt. Smock, what's going on, man? Hey, Ty, how you doing? Keep it up. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the asking people to hit the like button, too. Make sure you share. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. It's tough being a Razorback fan these days, says Paper Playa. You look new. I've never seen, unless you changed your name, unless you're an OG and you changed your name. But if you haven't already, Paper Playa, hit the subscribe button. Take the poll. We're going to end it here in just a second. Who gets most of the snaps? I typed this out too quick. I do it every time. In spring camp with the 2s. And KJ Jackson does have a small lead over Madden Iamaleava. Grayson Wilson at 6%. Ooh. Blake Boda with 1%. All right. Joe Cool says Notre Dame is a young team. I expect them to be good again next year. Yeah. I think, man, what a ball coach. I'm a part of me is really happy for Notre Dame, and a part of me is like, I don't want them to win too at the same time, but I also don't want Ohio State to win. But I think I'm gonna, and it's weird for me to say this, but I think I am gonna root for Notre Dame, even though I'm picking Ohio State. Speaking of that, you guys, if you're not already, go check out BroThrow. You can get in on this. You got to be kidding me. Window capture's not working. What are you doing? There we go. Now it's working. Get on over to BroThrow. Tennessee, Georgia's going down. Actually, did that game already start? No, 7 p.m. Quite a few bets on this one. This is an interesting one. The spread's at 12. I'm probably going to kick myself for saying this because it's Tennessee at home. I might take that, but I think it's going to be like Tennessee by 10 or 9. That's a tough one. Money line at minus 580 for Tennessee. Over-under at 134.5. Let's do it. We're going to talk about the Rams. I know y'all are wanting to get in on this. But the Rams right now, the Eagles favorite at minus 6. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I'm taking the Eagles on this on the spread. I'm gonna probably take the Eagles on the spread. This is just not a good matchup for the Rams. I hope I'm wrong. Clearly. So head on over to BroThrow. Lay down a bet. Remember, this is peer-to-peer. We're kind of learning this together. I've never been a sports gambler. I've never been an online gambler, but this is actually pretty fun. We have a group. It's Tusk Talk with Ty. We actually got like 10 people in this bad boy. So maybe sign up for the group. Remember, if you sign up for BroThrow and you send me a screen cap in Discord, you're going to get, right out the gate, you're going to get 10,000 XP. That's right. 10,000 XP. Just for joining. You don't even have to put a bet down. Hey, Ty, do you think we get our 12th win, or do we get closer to our 11th loss? I don't know. The Rams have the better coach, the better quarterback. I would not bet money on Phil to cover. So Philadelphia played the Rams earlier in the year, and they absolutely just popped them. Now, this is what's funny. I actually got a VPN last year so I could watch the Rams. And I didn't realize they're a part of that, I don't know, the NFL Network deal. So, because of VPN, you could switch your whatever, you could switch over to like the West Coast, where that's where the internet thinks you're getting your internet from, whatever, where you're getting your source from. I don't know. I'm not a nerd. I don't understand it all. So I wanted to watch some more Rams, and the only games I could watch is when the Cowboys were either already off and they were playing on Fox. I wanted to, and this was, I thought the Rams were going to hold their own against the Eagles. Philadelphia won easily by 17 points, 37-20 in L.A. Jalen Hurts was not a factor. You know who was? Barkley. Jac'Qawn Barkley, I'm pretty sure this is I know it's a career high, 255 yards. Now, yeah, the Rams were banged up. They were not, they were not whole. They weren't healthy. They had problems up front on the offensive line. They were banged up on defense, sure. But I don't know. This is just not a great matchup for the Rams. So I don't know. It's a tough one. Yeah, the offense is great. They're dialed in. Higbee's healthy at tight end. He's been a factor already for the Rams. That's a big deal. But I say big deal. It's not like you've got Kelsey at tight end or anything. But I just feel like I'd probably take the Eagles to cover. If not, definitely take the Eagles to win. That's just me. Anyways, let's put it into that poll. So who wins? Oh, Madden Iamaleava took first place at 47%. He's most likely to get the majority of snaps in spring camp. Madden Iamaleava. That's going to be, again, another thing to watch, right? I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. You think we should take Ward or Sanders at number 1? I don't know. I think I would. I don't know. I don't know what your needs are. I mean, I know you need a quarterback, but I don't know, man. There's just something about these first round quarterbacks. More times than not, they're you probably get a pretty good deal later on, right? In a later round. Someone voted twice. Someone got on a burner account and voted twice. Yeah, probably. I'm a little surprised by that. Well, no, I'm not, because Madden Iamaleava is the talk of the town right now. I think a lot of that has to do with who his older brother is, but also the fact that you grabbed this 4-star quarterback from the West Coast who, wasn't really involved in a lot of his recruiting until the end. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know who you should vote or who you should draft. Sanders, pretty electric though. Yeah. All right. Well, that is it. That is going to do it. I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of it. We'll be back on Saturday. Make sure you join Patreon. Get a shot at winning one of these awesome cards. you get a shot at winning one of these really awesome cards. Again, we've got Darnell Robinson autograph. Check that out. Legendary status. You'll get a shot at winning that bad boy. Tyler Wilson. We've had a few of these, few Tyler Wilsons. That's autographed. And then the big one right here, Darren McFadden, Felix Jones. I've got a couple of these, so this won't be the last one, but you're gonna want to sign up. And then for the $8 folks, we've got a Landon Jackson card here. So there you go. We're not doing a $4 card. Madden didn't even play high school ball. Yeah, so he had to sit out. He tried to transfer, and the state of California said no. So he had to sit out. I think he played in like one game. If I remember that correctly, I thought I read that somewhere where he played in like one game, or maybe he dressed out. I don't know. So, yeah. All right. Again, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Shout out to BroThrow, the newest sponsor of Tusk Talk with Ty. Again, peer-to-peer betting. Use promo code TUSK, all caps, to get in. Do a little betting. I will lay some bets down, I'm sure, throughout the playoffs and through college hoops. I know I will. And, of course, direct service overhead, the Garage Door Company. Free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Give direct service overhead a shot. Why don't you? 501-244-3667. So that'll do it. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Have a good, have a good Thursday and Friday. Now, unless we have some major breaking news, I'll be back on Saturday. All right. I'll see you guys. I'll see you when I see you. Be good.